What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Austin Anson, and today we're gonna do a little life as a mobile service welder. Now, what I mean by mobile service welder is I do not work on the pipeline. I service, like farmers and heavy equipment operators and that kind of thing. So we've got a couple jobs to go hit today. We're gonna head over and do some work for an excavator. It's my brother. He lives the next town over, but it's only like 10-12 miles. And then, so we're gonna do that. So we got that to do today, and then we gotta head out about 20 miles and fix a trailer for a guy. So let's get this out from dangling in the way. So it's a late start today. It's already about, I think it's like 2:30. Might even be 3 o'clock. But it rained all morning, so there wasn't much we were gonna do. Don't have any shop work, so it's just kind of one of them things where you got the morning off. Got the truck all finished and put together last night. If you guys saw my flatbed walk around video, I'll put a link for it here, so if you want to go back and watch that. It's just a quick, like, 30-second video on the new flatbed I built, for my truck. So you guys can get back and go watch that video, and then eventually the old girl scream a little bit. Eventually I'm gonna do a rig tour video where I'm gonna show you everything I keep in my truck that I use day to day. It's not a set in stone process, but it covers the majority of things that I keep on me and use day in and day out. There's some things that I don't use or that I don't have on me that I should, but we'll get to that in another video. So anyways, I'll bring you guys back when I am there. Alright, so we're pulling out of one job. Yeah, it didn't take long. It was actually a freebie for my brother. He's got, the mini excavators. Oh, we're gonna have to get some gas. Skid steers and all that kind of jazz. But I was fixing his screener. It's too lightly built. It's homemade, but it works, and he wants to try and squeeze another year out of it at least. So I was getting that all done because he just screens in the back part of his property topsoil, and with this whole stay-at-home order, he can't do much. He can't go out and do all the things he can normally do. So he's been screening a lot of soil, and a leg busted out on him. So we went and we welded that back in place. Didn't take long. A couple rods, and she was back to normal. So I threw him a freebie just because he can weld. He doesn't like to do everything he needs to do over there, but he can do it. But lately he's just been hiring me because I guess it's easier. There's a fine line with all these guys between wanting to do all of the repairs themselves or just hiring it out. One of the good reasons to hire it out, in my unbiased opinion, is I do the same thing. If I need need work done that's like electrical or anything big that I'm not an expert at, or not even a novice at, I just assume hire someone to do it, and then give them a little bit of money and have it done right. That's kind of the point he's getting to. Sorry if it's hard to hear me. These Michigan roads. It's alright, we're getting them fixed. Anyways, just hiring me out to come in and take care of the stuff. I think he actually puts him ahead because he can focus more on budgeting and getting jobs done or going out and doing jobs. Whereas before he'd spend countless maintenance hours in the shop fixing stuff, and and it's not everybody, and it's not necessarily him. He's done a pretty good job on some stuff, but sometimes you're fixing something and maybe you don't use the right rod, or you don't build it as heavy as it should be built, and in a couple weeks you're fixing it again. Well, then you're spending more time in the shop, and I know he's to the point now where when you're just getting started it's one thing, but I know he's to the point now where he would rather not work 60, 70 plus hours a week and then have to go right back into 20, 30 hours a week sometimes of maintenance in his home shop that he's not getting paid for. So it's easier for me, and I made my deal with him, and I make this deal with anybody. Farmers is a good example, because I have regular hours, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. that I'll do service calls, and then anything after that, there's an emergency call fee. If someone breaks down at 4 a.m., whether it's on the side of the road or in a field, I will come and I will get out of bed and I will come fix or solve whatever issue you got. But there's a service fee charge. So like the deal I make with him, if I get all your business, and it doesn't have to be you need to call me for a couple $100 service call every time something breaks in half or something. If it's something you can live without, put it off on the side, make a note, make a tag, whatever, send it to me, and once a month, once a quarter, once every 2 weeks, once a week, whatever it's got to be, I'll come out and I'll service all the things that broke in that amount of time, and I'll write you one bill covering it all. And it saves me time, because I'm not running around doing, I'm not driving 15 minutes here to do a 20-minute job and then 15 minutes somewhere else to do a 20-minute job. I'm driving 15 minutes and I might be working for 3, 4, 5 hours, and I can use it as filler, when I'm not on big projects. And it's a good way. Yeah, granted, when emergencies happen, I lose my emergency costs, because if they do that with me, I'll waive my emergency costs. They'll get the straight standard charge. But I fill all that voided hours in my weeks, and that allows me to keep the truck going. Because if the truck's not running, I'm not making an income, and then therefore I'm not paying the bills. So it's just it's one thing to keep in mind. Now, Rick Welders, it's going to be interesting for us in the coming weeks, probably even months, because of the pipeline. I think you're going to see a lot of Rick Welders at home. And I tell you what, farmers are busy right now. When everything opens back up, whatever area you're in, I think you're going to see some people busy. And I'll use my brother as an example again, because I know his phone's been ringing off the hook about upcoming projects, digging ponds, all that kind of stuff. And those things are going to kind of break. So, if you're a rig welder, maybe off the pipeline, and you're going home, it might be a way to supplement your income a little bit. Or I know a lot of guys will go out and they'll find, you know, bridges or buildings or something to weld on. Instead of pipe, they'll be doing some structural welding. It's granted, I think oil probably the bread and butter most of the time. I don't do it just because I don't want to be away all the time. I enjoy my life around here, being at home every weekend and so on and so forth. But it's just a thought on how to adapt. I guess adapt is a big thing. We gotta adapt all the time. But anyways, that is just my little piece of advice. I gotta run up here and fill everything up. It's 98 cents here in West Michigan for gas. 98 cents. And then we gotta head on to another job, and then we'll be heading home, getting this day all fixed and figured out. So anyways, I will take this second to tell you, if you haven't already, like my videos and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and do it. Probably be one of the best things you do all day. Best things for me anyways, because that helps me out. But if you want more content on, you know, what a service welder does instead of like a pipeline rig welder, you want to see a little bit more of that lifestyle, or you want to see a little bit more of shop work and all that kind of stuff, or maybe look for some DUI projects or some side hustles to make money while you're out of work, or whatever the case may be, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video. Alright, so we're I think a few minutes away from this trailer job. You know, I just want to talk for a minute about why I really like what I do, and not everyone will like this, I guess. Maybe it's just me. Jeez, I am finding the roughest roads in Michigan today. The government should hire me to figure out the bad ones that we need to replace. Anyways, I want to talk for a minute about why I like service. I'm going to call it service rig welding. I don't know if there's a different. I've heard a lot of people call it a lot of different things. But to me, I call it service rig welding, or just rig welding in general, because I'm not pipeline welding. Anyways, you know, one day I'm working on a excavator repairing a bucket. Okay, like this could be my normal week. The next day I might be fixing the handrail at Dunkin' Donuts because somebody was in such a rush they hopped the curb and ran over the handrail. The third day I might be welding a hitch back on a farm implement. And then on the fourth day I might be building some custom displays for a t-shirt store, or a hat store, or a ring store, you know, whatever. There's just, it's something new every day. And you get to meet a lot of people. Oops, this is how bumpy the roads are. Stuff's falling down. You get to meet a lot of people. You get to talk to them. You get to know them. And it's a really good thing. Like, I've had times, like winter's a good example, where work really, really slows down. And most of the time, you're ready for a little bit of a break, a little bit of a slowdown. You don't want to worry about stuff. You know, don't want to have them 5 a.m. mornings every morning. But, in the same sense, we've all got bills to pay, and we've all got to pay them. So, you'll run into farmers, excavators, you know, who they might need extra hand only maybe once or twice a week, or they got a big project coming on, or whatever the case may be. And well, if they know you and they know, hey, he does good work, we want to keep him around, keep him happy, you might get a bone thrown your way. And you know, you might not be making your regular markup on everything, your regular service call charge or whatever the case may be, but you can find situations to keep you going, and that's if you're just starting out. I know there's a lot of people who start out as a mobile welder, and you know, then they move in and then they've got a shop, and pretty soon they're hiring employees because they're just so god darn busy. And that's all fine and dandy, but not everyone starts out that way right away. I've been rig welding now on my own for about a year. Well, no, not even 6 months, 7 months. I started in November, and this is April. So, but I was doing it as a side business years before that. Pretty much the second I got out of college, out of my welding school. So, you know, it starts out slow, just like anything else. Rome wasn't built in a day, and if you can network yourself into, you know, maybe some more established businesses or farms or whatever it is, well, you've got a little bit better chance of surviving. You know, or, I mean, shoot, it's not my case, but there's a case out there to be made for guys, you know, and the pipeline guys are probably really feeling it now because they're sitting with, you know, $20,000, $30,000 worth of welder and equipment on their bed of their, you know, their custom built $10,000 bed on their custom built or custom bought. Get around this guy. Of their custom truck that cost them $60,000. It's real easy to rack up $100,000 on a welding rig. Now, I'm very fortunate that one, I have a wide variety of clients, so even through this whole coronavirus pandemic, I've still been able to find work. It's definitely slowed down, but farmers, they've been out, you know, tiling and planting fields, and stuff breaks. I can get a little work off that, and it's been able to be enough to keep us going. And the other really bright side of that is I don't have any equipment payments. You know, I think you guys have heard me talk about little kid on a tractor. That's good. I think you guys have heard me talk about, maybe in another video, my initial rig I put together for $5,000. You know, it was a $2,200 pickup that I'm still driving today, 3 years later. It was the welder I'm still using today was a $1,500. I think it was 15, maybe it was 1,700. I can't quite remember. Lincoln square wave TIG 200 that I use for TIG welding and stick welding. And then a lot of the hand tools I had got. I went to a welding school in Owasso that required you to have some of your own tools, you know, chipping hammers. I don't think I had to have a grinder, but I think I got one anyways, and stuff like that. I won some tools through some competitions, you know, Skills USA and all that stuff. So I was fortunate there again. But, man, you know, when you're racked up near 1,000, 100,000 in equipment, and your rig's just sitting idle, then payments aren't. You still got to make them. So, I mean, when the going's good, you know, them guys they're making money. But and I'm not faulting them. Instances like this, you know, like my setup right now would not last on the pipeline, but I don't do the pipeline. Yeah, so it's crazy, and I feel for all them guys out there who are sitting at home thinking, gosh, how am I going to keep all these payments going out? But it's just I like to live on the more caution side of things when it comes to stuff like that. It's times like these, I'm really thankful for that, because man, you know, $100,000 equipment payments stretched even over 15 years, which I think you can, I don't even know if you can get them that much. Shows you how little I've went into renting equipment. But I think you can get it stretched out over like 5 years. And, you know, that's worst case probably scenario. The guy went out and bought everything new, but even that is a scary feat. Another good way you can make some money, I don't know if it's everywhere, but I'll do this a little bit. So we got an Amish community that butts up next to our town. And I'll do some welding for them because they're the same thing. They're out, they're breaking stuff, they need a fix. And I got one guy who he hires drivers to haul cherries from like Traverse City to Grand Rapids, or he'll even get down and go to Ohio. And the way I got my truck set up is there's a skid with all my tools and equipment. So in a matter of 15-20 minutes, I can have all my tools and equipment off, and I can go haul a couple skids on the flatbed of cherries, and then even on a trailer if I need to haul more. And I charge a mileage fee, and it depends on where we're going, but you know, Grand Rapids, Traverse City, I mean, that's still probably 100 miles or so, 150 maybe. I haven't made that run, but if you're going down to Ohio, you know, anything over 100 miles, I drop my fee down, you know, around 45-50 cents or something. I don't remember the last thing I did, but you know, it's a quick weekend run when you do it. And again, it's just a little bit of extra cash to supplement you until you have 40 to 60 hours worth of welding work a week to do. So that's just a little tip for you. You know, if you're worried about this pandemic, there's a few people who have not stopped working. Farmers and truck drivers are some of them. People will always need to grow food, and people will always need to transport food. So if you want to have something in your back pocket that you could fall back on to make you a little money, no matter what, outside of the end of the world, those are, I'd say, two pretty good ones to maybe do. Maybe not do directly, but do indirectly through somebody. But, I don't want to ramble too much on in this video. I don't want you guys to have to listen to me do a half-hour video of me driving around in the service truck. So I'm going to shut you guys off here, and then I'll get back to you when we're, probably when we're on our way home. I like to respect my client's privacy, and I don't want to shove a camera in their face the second I get there. So anyways, see you on the next video, guys.